Carrie is right on that for me tonight. Awesome. And it is September. Can you believe it is September? I can't. The year has been moving super, super fast. But thank you again for joining us. Tricia Meller our CEO will not be able to join us tonight, but I'm going to have Carrie Lewinsky do our intro for us tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Carrie.
Great. Thanks, Amanda. It's nice to see all of you here again as we really kick off the Back to Troop season. As all of our members are heading back to school, hopefully we're getting back engaged in Girl Scout troop meetings or in whatever way you're involved in Girl Scouting. It's nice to see many familiar faces who were at Camp Farnsworth this past weekend for our successful Farnsworth weekend. And maybe like raise your hand or wave or move around a little bit if you were there. Oh, look, I see some good waves. I think thankfully we got a little bit of rain Saturday evening, but it cooled things down nicely. And I know Flask led a campfire with strings in the dining hall. We didn't let the rain stop us. They were playing away on the guitar and leading in songs, which was great to see. And there was a very rowdy rendition of a game that I didn't actually catch the name of, but had to do with like different generations, and you had to act out things from different generations, which seemed like they were having a great time together. So we have several presentations planned for this evening to share some important updates and information as you get started with your year, and then we'll do our traditional breakout sessions at the end as well. So if you have individual questions that you'd like to ask, please hang around, and we're happy to answer those so that you have all of the information and resources you need to start the year successfully. So I'll pass it back to you, Amanda. I think we have a troop spotlight to inspire us.
We do. So I'm going to go ahead and get the slides pulled up, and we do have a troop spotlight tonight. It's going to be Troop 30228 from Waterbury, Vermont, and is going to be Jessica Shanette. All right. So let me go ahead and pull the screen up real quick, and hopefully it's sharing like it's supposed to.
Yep, looks good to me. So yes, hi, I'm Jessica Shanette. I'm a troop leader from Troop 30228 of Waterbury, Vermont. And I was asked to speak about two of our recent overnight trips that we did, one to the Fairbanks Museum and one to New York. Next slide. First event was council sponsored. It was an overnight at the Fairbanks Museum in St. Johnsbury on June 1st into June 2nd. We had 7 scouts attend the event, 5 juniors and 2 cadets, plus 2 troop leaders. The event began at 6 p.m., so we did dinner before it at the St. Johnsbury House of Pizza, which worked out very well for our group. We also had to provide our own snacks and breakfast, but we brought them for the troop. Next slide. This is a photo of the outside of the Fairbanks Museum. It's a hidden gem in St. Johnsbury, and for most of us who attended this event, it was the first time we had been there. Next slide. Here are 2 pictures of the inside of the Fairbanks Museum. The picture on the left is from the first floor, and the picture on the right is a view from the second floor. The museum was founded in 1889, and it is both a museum and a planetarium. And it has very beautiful old architecture inside and outside. Next slide. Here are a few pictures of some of the exhibits. They have lots of exhibits with small and large mammals, birds, reptiles, fossils, rocks, plants, and more. Next slide. We also visited the planetarium. The staff told us a few stories of how the constellations came to be through Greek mythology. They were very good storytellers, and everyone really enjoyed it. And the pictures here are from looking at the giant screen on the ceiling. Next slide. So we had some downtime to explore, hang out, and flashlight tag, which they loved. The staff actually turned off the lights to the exhibits, and the Girl Scouts really enjoyed running around in the dark with their flashlights. Us with the other troops had the place to ourselves from 6 p.m. to 10 a.m. The next day, which was super awesome. Next slide. So here's a couple pictures from the sleepover. Instead of sleeping in a big boring room, we got to sleep among the exhibits with several other troops from Vermont and New Hampshire. And there was also 3 amazing museum staff members that we had to ourselves the whole night. Of course, they stayed separately, but they were there the whole time that we were there. They did leave on some lights though, so it wasn't completely dark, but it looked really cool when it was partially lit up. Next slide. So in closing, all the Scouts really enjoyed it. It was a very special and unique event, and we would highly recommend it. And from our experience, it sells out really quick. So on to the next slide. So for the second trip, we did an overnight to New York, which was July 13th into the 14th. We had 2 troop leaders and 2 troop helpers plus 7 Scouts attend the trip. The first stop was the Great Escape in Queensbury. Next slide. So I just wanted to offer some pro tips to share if you've never been to the Great Escape. It was actually my first time. So the admission includes the theme park and water park, but our troop only wanted to do the rides, no matter how hot it was. There are group rates available if you have 15 or more people. Buying parking in advance online is cheaper than in person. We also purchased the unlimited drink option for everyone, which I think was $8 or $10 more, which included a souvenir cup. And we brought a Sharpie anticipating having the cups so we could write everyone's names on them. You are not allowed to bring in your own food and beverages into the park. And it was a really hot day, so they drank a lot. So we definitely got our money's worth on the drink package. We also bought several pizzas for the group and dessert using the troop funds. The Scouts had brought their own money for souvenirs and anything else that they wanted to buy. Credit cards only are accepted, no cash. So we weren't expecting that. So we had to buy the items and the Scouts had to pay us back. And then of course, later we learned they do have kiosk available there to convert cash to card. So lesson learned there. We had purchased matching troop shirts before the trip with optional names on them, and it made it easy to find our group. And then we also split into 2 groups, thrill seekers versus not thrill seekers. We had some Scouts that wanted to be on the scariest rides, and we had some that had no interest in being on those scary rides. Next slide, please. So here's just a few pictures. It was really hot. It was in the lower 90s. It was sunny. At one point, we had a brief shower, which was welcomed, and then it got hot again. But we really had a great time. Next slide. And just a couple more pictures showing that we had a good time. Wearing those awesome shirts, which we got on Etsy, by the way, in case you're wondering. So after the Great Escape, we went to where we were going to spend the night. So we rented a lodge at the New York Girl Scout camp, Camp Meadowbrook in Queensbury, and it was the Nature Lodge. Some of the pros, it's only 3.8 miles from the Great Escape, so it's really handy. It's also very affordable at $50 a night for up to 16 people. It's located within 5 miles of grocery store. We knew it was going to be really hot, so we didn't want to pack perishable items in our vehicle, and so we could easily go from the Great Escape to before we went to our lodging and got our perishable items. So that was really nice. It was quiet and secluded, which was nice. It wasn't near a busy highway. It was very quiet. They had a really nice big screened in porch, which was great because there was definitely a lot of mosquitoes. They had late checkout available, which we didn't need, but you didn't have to check out till 3 p.m., which meant you had the place for the day the next day, which is nice versus a lot of places kick you out by like 10 a.m. They also had a tree house and a nice fire pit, but you had to bring your own local firewood. So some of the cons, the lodge itself was not clean. We had to actually buy cleaning supplies and clean it before we could use it. It had a bathroom, 2 sinks, a fridge, but no showers. The fridge was very dirty and it wasn't plugged in. I've already put in my comments and complaints. They didn't have any bunks, so we had mattresses on the floor. You had to take your trash with you or pay a $25 dumpster rental fee. We did, however, get to check out the Heidi's Friendship Lodge that's there. And there's another lodge like the Nature Lodge there too. But the Friendship Lodge is $135 a night, has a full kitchen, sleeps up to 45 people, has multiple showers, and it was very clean because we were told it's used more often. And there was another troupe there that was from New York, which was fun to meet. And they gave us a tour of the lodge. So we can recommend that lodge, but not the Nature Lodge. Next slide, please. So we also worked on our fire building skills and, of course, being silly. Next slide. And then just basic stick cooking for dinner and hot dogs and s'mores. Next slide. And then we also hung out in the lodge and did lots of hair braiding. That's very popular. Next slide. And then the next day, it was still very hot. So we had fun with water guns, but I did want to mention they offer an optional splash pad rental, which you can see in this right picture. All it does is dump water when the buckets fill on your head. And I figured at their age level, it would probably be a little too young for them. But if you were interested in it, it's $50 an hour, but we didn't get it. But they had plenty of fun squirting each other with their water guns. Next slide. So this is the tree house that I had mentioned earlier. It was pretty awesome. The Scouts had a really good time playing around on it, or as you can see in the right picture, just sitting down, relaxing and reading. Next slide. So we decided to eat lunch at the camp before we packed up and headed to the beach, just so that way we didn't have to worry about perishables and one less thing we had to lug to the beach. So here's just a picture of us eating our lunch. Next slide. So our last stop on the trip was to Million Dollar Beach at Lake George. Everyone in our troop had completed the swim test prior to the trip through the YMCA in Burlington. We did have one scout who did not pass the swim test, and they wore a life jacket. The beach, this particular beach, had many lifeguards, and the water was no more than waist deep, which was plenty fine because it was really hot. It was just fun splashing around, and it was safe. There was a $10 per vehicle entry fee. It had a beautiful bathhouse and a lunch snack bar with ice cream, which was very popular. It was nice, clean, sandy beach. One of the only downside is that they did not have free drinking water on site. All the fountains were blocked off for some reason. So you'd have to bring your own water or buy it there. But all around, the views were beautiful. Next slide. So here's a few pictures of the beautiful view and just a really nice park. Next slide. And then a few more pictures of us hanging out at the beach, getting some frozen treats, and then inside the bathhouse had that beautiful stained glass. It's very nice. And that's it. Next slide. Any questions? We had a great time. This was the second trip was for our cookie proceeds.
What's
is
your next
awesome.
trip? You planning the
Um,
next trip?
We are actually, well, possibly as a possible idea. We're hoping maybe that battleship trip will be available next June, like it was this past June, and maybe doing a Cape Cod camping trip weekend or something. We're just throwing
Nice.
some ideas out there. Head to Massachusetts, maybe.
Hmm. Thanks for sharing.
Sure,
That is awesome.
Yeah,
It's like
those-
you guys had a lot of fun.
I do. I feel like we do a lot of fun things.
What are the grades of the girls in your troop?
We're just juniors and cadets. We do have Daisy through Brownie Troop that's also in our area, but we decided last year actually to split the troop because we had over 20 scouts and at various points in their lives and different skills. But we do occasionally get together with them to do activities or when we were working on bridging activities we had to do. So we do see them from time to time. But most of our meetings, we just meet with the juniors and the cadets. There's
That is
11 of
awesome.
us.
That's a good size troop. Awesome. It looks like you guys had a great time. I
We
appreciate
did.
you. Appreciate you sharing that with me. I'm looking to see if there's any questions. It doesn't look like there's any questions right now, but again, thank you so much, Jessica, for sharing with us tonight. And we will go ahead and move on. But if you have any questions that I missed seeing, please put them in the chat and we'll be happy to get them answered for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. So the next piece, I believe, is me. It is. So I'll do a real quick update on our recruitment. So here is our recruitment team. If you are out and about, we have hired a new recruiter. Molly Fulham has started working for us. She is awesome. She is super excited and couldn't wait to join us. So you have Mitchell, Molly, and Shay out and about, and they have been in and out of school open houses and fairs and festivals and all over, and will continue to be. We have some busy weekends coming up. If you happen to be at the Tunbridge Fair over the weekend on Sunday, come see me and say hello, because I will be there for our booth. Go ahead and move on. So update on membership numbers. So as we are going into the last month of our My24 membership year, as of right now, we have closed a business last night with 6,027 girl memberships, 2,489 for our adult memberships, and 1,561 for our total lifetime memberships. That gives us a 71.6% retention rate overall, a 67 girl retention rate, and a 78.6 adult and lifetime retention rate. This still has us down around 3% from where we were at this point last year, and it looks like we're probably going to finish the year down. The good news is that the My25 numbers are looking really good, and I appreciate everything everyone has done to help us go through and take a hard look and help us bring in some more girls. We've added so many wonderful Daisy troops already this year, and already, we've added just over 30 new troops so far between the both states so far for the My25 year, and that is super exciting, and we're super happy about that. I'm going to go ahead and go on to the next slide. Of course, any events that we have out there that we're looking for help at will be on our Sign Up Genius, and we'll get that put in the link for you. You can take a look at them. That way, one, you just know where we are, or two, if you've got a few minutes to come help us at an event, or if you'd like to do open house, please just go ahead and let us sign up right there and let us know. We'll get you everything we need and touch base with you. Also, if you have things going on in your community that we might not know about, please let me know. If you're needing flyers for your troop, if you're wanting to do your own event at your school, something like that, fill out this jot form to let me know so we can reach out and help you. Make sure you get the flyers that you need, make sure that we get permissions from all the schools, and help set up anything you're looking to do. The next piece I was going to talk about real quick was service unit funds and community support funds. So those of you that have service unit teams, you might have a bank account that is for your service unit funds. That's things that's going to be used within your service unit and can be used for multiple things. And then I have the opportunity where you can apply for community support funds from me to do all of these things. Should be used towards retention and recruitment support efforts. Retention things are those programs that you do in your communities, your thinking days, your invite a friends, and investitures and rededications, your bridging ceremonies. All of those things are great retention efforts. These are also awesome things to make sure that you are advertising and showing the community all about what Girl Scouting does and all the awesome fun that you have. You should be using some of your SU funds to also help support any of those new troops coming in. That could be helping them, those leaders get settled with their bank account, many other ways. So if you don't know, if you've got some funds in your service unit and you're not exactly sure what to do with them, reach out, call us. We'll brainstorm with you and see what we can come up with to help make sure you're getting out there in the community and you're using that to benefit all the girls in your area. Also, if you're looking to get some of those community support funds because you're wanting to do something in your community, but it's going to be more than what your community can handle at this point, all you need to do is send us an email. Send me an email with a quick description of what you're wanting to do with an estimated budget, and we'll reach out and we'll go through it with you and help figure out the best way to support you and get you some of those funds. You know, all you got to do, like Ursula, all you got to do is send an email to customer care, and we will be happy to go ahead and look it over and get with you and get that all figured out. So I think that is the end of mine. And looking in the chat real quick to make sure I didn't miss anything. So service unit funds are those for your local community. For your service unit is probably going to may have a bank account that those funds have been things that the community has fundraised for. They get those funds various ways. Community support funds come from council. There's something that I go through and help the local service units with, as far as so we can do retention and recruitment efforts in the communities. If you're looking for something for service type projects and things like that, go ahead and reach out and we'll make sure you get in contact with the right person where we can help you figure out exactly how to fund all of those. Okay. Let's see what else I'm looking at. Make sure I didn't miss anything real quick. All right. So I think that is the end of my presentation. I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Amanda Powell with volunteer support.
Thank you, Amanda. We can hop on over to the next slide. This is our wonderful volunteer support team. We have myself, I am the team lead. We have Anne-Marie Yorio, who is one of our volunteer support specialists that really focuses on new leaders. We have Carrie Zames, who does a lot of focus on travel and a lot of support for banking. We have Alessa Begalio, who also supports new leaders, and then Dee Dee Rice, who does some specialization in troop finance for us, which is super helpful with banking. Next slide, please. Just wanted to give a quick plug for some of the trainings that I have coming up. I have 2 virtual trainings coming up this month. You can still sign up for these. The positive behavior intervention support training is virtual. It is 9/17 from 6 to 8 p.m. In this training, we will talk about how to take a look at behaviors you're seeing in troop meetings that you might want to encourage to no longer happen, and how to address those behaviors and affect change in a really positive, natural way. The other training I have coming up is Youth Mental Health First Aid. That is a $25 fee. There is some online pre-work that you would do that takes about 2 to 4 hours. And then we have that live virtual session on the 21st from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. I do need to get to a couple of people signed up for that, so that training can still run. So if you're interested in Youth Mental Health First Aid, please come and join me. It's a wonderful day. It's an amazing training. What this really does is it teaches you how to support a mental health crisis the same way first aid teaches you how to respond to a physical health crisis. So it's a really wonderful way of contextualizing how to support someone that is having a mental health challenge. If you can't make either of these, but you're really interested in the topics or conflict resolution, something in that realm, please just reach out to us through customer care and let us know. I am always jazzed to get out there and run these trainings with our volunteers. So come let me know. I would be happy to come and do this. I can come to you in person. We can do it online. Very flexible. We'll make it happen. Next slide, please. And just wanted to do a reminder, we have the child abuse and neglect prevention course that we have that is required for completion for our volunteer roles. This must be done by October 31st. If it's not completed by October 31st, we will have to remove you from your volunteer role because this is a requirement to be a volunteer moving forward. We really understand and appreciate the importance of your role and very much appreciate your attention to this. This training takes about 50 minutes to complete online and will need to be renewed every 2 years. You can find this right in GS Learn. So you would go to our website, girlscoutsgwm.org, log in through MyGS, click your My Account, and then in that left-hand menu, you will see GS Learn right in there. If for some reason when you log in and you don't see the training or any trainings indeed on there, don't panic. Just reach out to customer care either by phone or by email. We have some wonderful troubleshooting we can do that can usually get you in within an hour. I was just looking at the chat because Carrie said what I was saying out loud and it was distracting me. Sorry. But yes, we appreciate your attention. Due by October 31st. If you have any questions, concerns, accessing, please just reach out. We're happy to touch base with you about this. Next slide, please. And just one little quick reminder, your troop finance report was due on June 30th. If you haven't gotten it in yet, please get it in as soon as possible. I just heard from Girl Scouts of the USA that they're gonna archive the finance tab on October 1st. So once you hit October 1st, if you do this in the volunteer toolkit, you won't be able to access it in the volunteer toolkit any way other than as a historical document. You can still complete it in our Excel spreadsheet or Google Drive, but it will limit your access in the volunteer toolkit. So just please, if you haven't done it yet, please get it on over to us so we can take a peek at it. Appreciate you all. Next slide, please. Oh, that was my last one. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Amanda. I believe next we are going to be going over to Christine Harry.
Yes, thank you. Do you mind switching to the next slide, please? So here is a nice shot of our Girl Experience team. So you can see Paula Kelly Murphy, who is our coordinator of program partnerships and travel. So highlighted in our little troop spotlight was the night at the Fairbanks Museum, which Paula coordinated getting that set up. And she also, I know, is looking to continue that this spring, and also the Battleship sleepover. So definitely things to look forward to. Ashley Jerome is our coordinator of day camp and program. Cassandra Gilson, who's on the call with me tonight, is our program lead, supports Camp Farnsworth and other programming throughout the year. Ashley Guerin and Laura Barrett both serve as program specialists. Ashley Guerin does a lot of work with our highest awards, and then Laura Barrett focuses on our virtual programming. And we can go on. We have lots of seasonal and on-demand staff that we couldn't do all we do without them. So we're thankful for them, and we can move on to the next slide. We are excited to be promoting and to be sharing about our expo that is coming up shortly in just a few weeks. So October 5th in 2024 this year, we will be at the New Hampshire Sportsplex in Bedford, New Hampshire from 10 to 4 with over 75 family-oriented exhibits with lots of hands-on activities for our members and for the public to come and participate. It's a great opportunity if you're a new troop or your girls are maybe wondering what they could be doing this year in Girl Scouting, to come out and see all the different companies or organizations that do programming with our youth that you could take advantage of as a Girl Scout troop. And also, if you know of anybody in your area that has been considering Girl Scouting, it would be a great opportunity for them to come and get some information about what we do in Girl Scouts, and ask any questions they might have, and just a great way to jump right in. If we go to the next slide, just wanted to point out some of the many great exhibitors that we will have on hand. A lot of our exhibitors come and they bring hands-on activities for their girls. So like some maybe expos or like home shows or big events that you may have been to. We do have, all the tables set up, but almost every table has some kind of activity for the girls and their families to participate in. So we will have Army BioFab there doing stuff with Phantom Hearts. Planet People will be there to talk about their recycling program. The Aviation Museum will be there, the UNH Epic Camp, Code Whiz to talk with Girl Scouts about doing some coding. USA Ninja Challenge will be there with a little kind of American Ninja Warrior challenge course for people to try out. Elkins Fish and Game will be there with some fly fishing. Freedom Reigns will be there. Our focus for our Take Action area is going to be mental health. And so Freedom Reigns is a therapeutic horseback riding program. And so they'll be there to talk about their work that they're doing. Fit Money, League of Women Voters, and many more. We'll have Alex, who was a magician at the Vermont Cookie Rally, will be there to do a magic show. Lots of other great performers on our stage throughout the day. So definitely come and check it out. We have information on our website. If you go to the activities page, hover over the words activities, there's a whole page for the expo. You can see all the exhibitors that are going to be there. We'll have some food trucks on site. You can come for a couple of hours. You could come for the whole day. And so that is our expo. Next slide, please. One of the other opportunities we have available for our older girls are GSUSA destinations. As a council, we're hosting a destination for the coming summer. It's Iceland Glaciers and Geysers. It'll be running from June 16th through the 22nd. Again, it's an opportunity for our high school Girl Scouts to enjoy, just like most GSUSA destinations are available to cadets and up, but most of the international trips tend to be for our high school age Girl Scouts. And so this one is for seniors and ambassadors. We are currently looking for chaperones for the destination, and also would love to encourage any of our high school girls at our council to check out the trip and see if this is something they would want to participate with us. All the destinations for this coming summer are now available on GSUSA's website. So girls can check those out there and see if there are any trips or experiences that they're interested in participating in. And the next slide, please. Girl Scout Day at Fenway. We are still have some tickets available for this event. We were able to get some more tickets from the Red Sox. And so this is, we have tickets available through September 16th. The cost of the tickets are $35 per person. This is a great event, could participate as a troop or also as a family. And so this is available on our events page on the website. And the next slide, please. Also wanted to promote another older girl opportunity we have going on in Vermont. We have a program called Get a Clue. This is going to be kind of an escape room style mystery puzzle weekend for our older girls. This is coming up on October 11th through the 13th, and registration is still open for that event. And the next slide, please. Also coming up in the month of October, running through the middle of December, we as a council are offering this STEM challenge. And so it's an opportunity for you to get involved with STEM. This is something you could choose to sign up for as a troop and work on it at maybe some of your troop meetings. This is something that a girl could do individually with her family. But what happens is once you register, you'll get a whole packet of different STEM challenges to participate in, like trying experiments with household items, learning about careers in STEM, different things like that. Every girl that participates will receive a patch. It's a very cute kind of custom patch for our council, and just a great opportunity to get more girls involved in doing STEM activities. And the next slide. Sarah was looking for a picture of the patch. We definitely have one somewhere, and I will get it and drop it into the chat at some point. We are offering through the Ringling group, the Ringling, the Greatest Show on Earth, on November 15th in Manchester, New Hampshire. So this will be a great experience again to come as a troop or to come as a family. This is our Girl Scout night, November 15th at 7 p.m. And just an opportunity to experience Ringling. I can also let you know that we are currently working on trying to set up some events, some other holiday events in both states to see either the Nutcracker or some other sort of more kind of traditional holiday experience. And so we're looking to have one of those happening in New Hampshire and one in Vermont. So definitely make sure you're checking into our events calendar quite frequently so you can learn about new events that are getting added. And I think I have another slide. Yes. All right. So before I go into this slide, there was a few things that I forgot to put on a slide. So I just wanted to mention them now. If you have any Girl Scouts who have been working on a highest award and have bridged or are bridging up to their next age level, just a reminder that they need to get their final reports in by the end of this month. So this would be if you have if you had girls who were 6th graders, they were working on their bronze award, they are now 7th graders. Sorry, that's the wrong age group. If you had 5th graders, 5th grade juniors that were working on their bronze award, and they have now bridged up to cadets and are now in the 6th grade, they need to wrap up any work on their bronze award and get that final report in by September 30th. Similar, if you have girls that were in 8th grade, finishing up their cadets and bridging up to seniors and have been working on their silver award, they need to get those projects wrapped up and their final reports submitted into the office by September 30th. And again, if you had any girls that had graduated high school last year and were working on their gold award, they also have until September 30th to complete their final report. So we just want to make sure everybody's aware of those deadlines. I know that we have been reaching out to the girls that we know are working on projects to make sure they're aware of them. But we just want to make sure everybody gets their paperwork in on time. I also wanted to share that we have gotten some CPR and first aid trainings on the calendar for Girl Scout leaders and Girl Scout volunteers that are in need of those trainings to work with their troops. So we have a training happening in Thetford, Vermont on September 29th. And then we will have another one happening in Salem, New Hampshire in November. And we're also working on a third one to happen in Vermont in November as well. And so again, those will be activities that will be on that activity calendar. So if you're looking for CPR and first aid training, please make sure you're checking the activity calendar so you're seeing those trainings that are getting added on there. And then finally, along with all of our wonderful programs that we have on our activity calendar, we are going to start doing some on-demand programming. And so we are working on putting the finalizing touches on an on-demand program menu. We'll have potentially about 16 programs that will be available to troops to look through and determine if it's something they're interested in. And then what will happen is kind of similar to the STEM van, the way we've been doing that for the past year or so, is you will share with us when your troop meets. Maybe sometimes you might be interested in having a staff member come out and lead a particular program with your troop. And then we will get that all coordinated and situated. And then at the agreed upon time, our staff member will show up. They will lead that program for you. They would bring all the supplies, lead the activity. And then it would be a great program experience or troop meeting opportunity for your troop. So we have a blurb coming out about it in the backpack, and we'll be getting more information up on the website, again, as we get the final touches put on this menu of opportunities. But that's something we want you to look forward to, and that is something that we'll actually start going out and doing the programs around December, but hoping to get the stuff up on the website shortly so people can start checking it out and talking with your Girl Scout troops and seeing which programs you guys might be interested in, and then starting to get some of those scheduled. And then just to go real quick through some of the programs that we have coming up in October, so you can see what's going on. Some virtual programs coming up. We're doing a junior coding series. So 3 weeks of the junior coding badges that will happen virtually. We have our magical baking. They're doing some creepy crinkle cookies. So very appropriate for the month of October. We'll be having a Happy Birthday Juliet program happening in Bedford. Some Craft and Tinker, Daisy Art and Design badge. And then we have several trunk or treat events happening, as well as Woolly Wonders and Keen. And then if we flip to the next slide, another Happy Birthday Juliet program happening in Thetford, Vermont. We have a Horses 101 program happening in Surrey, New Hampshire. And then we'll be starting into a cadet coding series. The first one will be in October. Then November we'll have the following 2 so that cadets could earn all of their Coding for Good badges. And then also a Founders Day recognition. So some great programs on the calendar in October, more coming for November and December and into the early winter. So make sure that you're keeping an eye out for those. And I do believe that would be my last slide.
That is correct, Christine.
Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you so much for all of that. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing because I believe we are to the breakout rooms.